Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to the channel. And today we have some Christian fiction romantic suspense book recs. Alright y'all, so I did a romantic suspense book recommendation in 2023 and there was not that many books on the list. And so since then I have read so many Christian romantic suspense books that I want to just do a full video on this, and to celebrate the Keep Me in Suspense readathon hosted by Caitlin at Chronicles of a Book Nerd and Jeanette over at Jane Reads. I will leave their channels down below. I thought this would be a good month to just update this video with all my favorite Christian romantic suspense books. All the reviews and everything are going to be linked down below. You may have heard me talk about these in recent videos or even in that first video, but we're just going to do this collectively and update the entire recommendation list. So without further ado, let's get into it. First up, we have got Submerged by Dani Pettrey. This is book one in the Alaskan Courage series. I've read a few books in this series and really need to finish it, but this was one of the early Christian romantic suspense books I read, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time with this. I've actually reread it at least once, and I'm not much of a rereader, but yeah, this one is set in Alaska. We have got some like dive team stuff going on. I love a good Alaska setting anyway, but this one has Bailey and Cole, and she's like kind of come back in town, has a bad reputation, the family member has passed away, and they're diving. Lane was sabotaged, water divers, all of those things. And so I really enjoyed the faith elements in this series. This is what really got me hooked on Christian romantic suspense, in my opinion. So highly recommend that you check this one out. It is so good. Then if you want like some novellas to check out and just to sample some of the authors I'm going to mention in this video, some of their writing, I definitely would recommend these. Targeted and Cornered by Lynette, Eason, Lynn H. Blackburn, and Natalie Walters. These are some really good novellas for you, just like I said, taste a little bit of their writing style, if you will, just to try that out. They're each tied to their series, but you can still read these just as standalones, even if you've not read their series before, and it kind of gives you an idea of their writing style. I really enjoyed both of these. The new author in the Christian romantic suspense community is Angela Carlisle. Book one in her Secrets of Kincaid series is Secondary Target, and book two is Shadow Witness. Really enjoyed both of these books, and Secondary Target is about Karina and Bryce, and we have this second chance romance where she's back in town with her family and she happens to see him. Someone's after her, some stuff tied in with her dad. It's a very crazy story. Her mother and brother, they have passed away. Events start to happen and her father disappears. Bryce and Karina work together. Feelings start to resurface as they normally do in these books. A blend of romance and suspense in this one. And then in book two, Shadow Witness, we have this photographer and someone attacks her at the very beginning, and her... Y'all, I'm editing this video and I failed to tell you the whole point of this book is she witnessed a murder. Shadow Witness, hello? She witnesses a murder at the beginning and someone attacks her. This is why it's so hard to do big book recs like this, you guys. Does anybody expect anything less? I guarantee I messed something up else in this video and don't even know it. Reviews are linked. Was Allie, which is Bryce's sister from book one. Okay, so I'd recommend you read book one first, but you do see how she is struggling to remember what happened, and she's questioning, did these things really happen? And we have this guy Eric Thornton, who is the detective on scene and helping with everything. So yeah, we start to kind of see that she's really telling the truth, of course, because the reader knows that from the very beginning, but she's trying to piece it together in her mind of what really happened. Has this health condition that added a layer of depth to her character. It was a really good one as well. Editing Amanda, I totally forgot these books. I want to mention in this video. So these are not like on my normal romantic suspense shelf. These are actually somewhere else. And so because the spines are white, so I've got them like on the shelf in the living room. But Lethal Standoff by DiAnn Mills is one that I want to mention. I gave this 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. DiAnn Mills has a really great way of storytelling and feeling connection to characters where it's not like just the characters are bonding over trauma. Like they truly have like good connection and it's like realistic and whatnot. This book is about Carrington Reed, and she is a hostage negotiator, and so she's trying to kind of diffuse the situation of these undocumented immigrants that are being taken hostage by these brothers. And then we have this guy, Levi. He's the investigative reporter on the scene. And so they end up working together on this case in depth. And he had a lot of stuff going on with his family, with his faith. He is Jewish, and he was dealing with a lot of hardship from that with his family. This is my first DiAnn Mills, and it's definitely not going to be my last. I'm looking forward to her new release that comes out this fall, and I own a couple more on my shelves. And we have got Every Deadly Suspicion by Janice Cantore. This was also my first book by Janice, and definitely not my last. I really enjoyed this one. I want to say give it like a 4-star. And this had a very unique storyline. We have our main girl. This is set in California, and our main girl is Hannah, and she's the chief of police there. And she has long believed that her father, Joe, is a murderer, and he has been justly imprisoned for his crimes. But she learns he is dying, and they have given him compassionate release from prison. And so she doesn't really consider him her father because of his past and his crimes. She doesn't really want anything to do with him, but he's the only one that can help crack a old cold case with these alleged murders and all these things. And so she agrees to oversee his care. Then we see Hannah's first love named Jared. He shows up and they start working together. There's like this love triangle and stuff a little bit here, but too much. But faith in here was really good. The forgiveness thread, all of those things were in here, and definitely one that I would recommend. So back to the video. Next, we've got Kendra Warden, and her first book is Forged in Peril. Book 2 is Forged in Secrets, and I've got book 3 that I still need to read sitting here, Forged in Deception. So this is so fun because I won these first 2 in a giveaway that she was doing, and then book 3 she actually sent to me to read and review. So hopefully I can get to this soon. I had hoped to get to it in August, but it's probably going to be September. But either way, I'm really looking forward to it. Set in Texas, you've kind of got this private security, protective MMC. The cheese is here, but it's like that good cheese that I like. It's one of those palate cleanse books. Workplace romance in book 1, paralegal heroine in her family. A lot of family toxicity in this book with going on here. This is a second chance romance. We've got the protective main guy as always. She feels safe with him kind of thing. The couple is Bristol and Cameron. Book 2 is a friends to more trope. It's got that beachy feel. Grumpy sunshine. It's got a lot of good faith elements as well. He is in denial about his feelings. Listen here, Ben. He is in denial about his feelings. Okay. And again, that private security thread, all the things. And I enjoyed my time with this one as well. I don't know which one I like better, but they feel like maybe Blake style to me with like the level of cheese, romance, all the sweet things. So it's one of those style. A little bit different than some of the other ones I'm recommending, but I really have enjoyed her writing style. Very quick to read, palate cleanse, all those type of things. So, all right. So next we've got Natalie Walters, and I need to read more of her books. I actually have a Christmas book that I really enjoyed by her as well. But for this video, we're just going to talk about Lights Out, which is book 1 in the Snap Agency series. If you like NCIS, this is the book to pick up. I really enjoyed it. I remember giving it 5 stars. It was a wild ride. There is a lot of characters to keep up with, but I love the action more than anything in this. So this is more action, I would say, than romance, but it's one of those slow burn romances as well. There is the Snap Agency, which is I'm gonna look at my review, honey, because we got to remember the acronyms. The Strategic Neutralization and Protection Agency, okay? I just felt like I needed to know everything with this one. So we got Bryn and Jack, and they have history together. They haven't seen each other in years. So again, a lot of these are going to be second chance romances. That's just kind of what they do in these books. Have to kind of work together to track down this missing spy type thing. And Jack doesn't really trust Bryn for all these things in the past. It's one of those like crazy things going on. There's like terrorist attack and things like that in here as well. Lots of cases. It's good. I love Natalie's writing style and need to finish off that series. And I've got all of her books on my shelf, actually. I need to read. So, yes. And we've got Lynn H. Blackburn, Never Fall Again. This is book 1 in the Gossamer Falls series. I need to continue on in the series as well, as always. 3 layered characters, good faith elements, a single mom, a really cool dog, a small town, family dynamics. All about Landry County. Landry's a single mom. She's trying to rebuild her life with her daughter in North Carolina, Gossamer Falls, North Carolina. And she had a previous abusive relationship with her husband that kind of caused a lot of trauma for her, and now that he is gone, she's wanting to go back to the town she grew up in, have a safe home and everything for her daughter to grow up in. And then we have former Marine Cal. He shows up and he is going to be helping with the construction and everything, and you all already know what's going to happen, okay? Before the home can even get worked on, I want to say there was like a fire that broke out, pottery, all this stuff was destroyed, and so they're trying to figure out like what's going on there. Loved her daughter. That added such a layer of depth. I love a single parent trope anyway, and the authenticity of the characters really shines through in this. So now we're going to talk about Melissa Koslin. I love Dangerous Beauty. This book took me out. I gave this like a 4.5 to 5 stars. This is a very powerful story. We have this girl, it's a marriage of convenience story because of this girl who is being trafficked. And so we have this guy, what's his name? Merrick. And our main girl is Liliana. And so she is pretty much this fighter in this situation, trying to get out of this situation of being trafficked. And so Merrick is kind of in the right place, right time kind of thing, and he ends up saving her from this situation, and they kind of go on the run. Wealthy, mysterious man, so she's trying to kind of figure out stuff about him. They end up having a romance, a true romance, more than just the marriage in name only. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I would have liked a little bit more with the ending, but overall still really enjoyed this book, and I would highly recommend. Just be aware of the topic of like assault and things like that from trafficking, but it's not detailed in any way. She handled this, in my opinion, with a lot of care. Next, we're going to talk about Lynette Eason's series, the Lake City Heroes series, and book 4 actually comes out in this series that I'm reading in August, and it was on my TBR. But book 1 is Double Take, book 2 is Target Acquired, and book 3 is Serial Burn. My favorite of the whole series is Double Take. This is one of those stories that's like the girl is seeing her abusive ex, who she thought was already dead, but like, is it him? Like, that kind of story. Like, is she seeing him? Who is this? And so there's this detective named James. Well, her name's Lainey. She's a physician's assistant. And so she keeps seeing her ex's face, and she's freaking out about it. And so obviously double take, like taking a double take, kind of, who is that? And then we've got Detective James Cross, and he was honorably discharged from the Army, and he is now in the investigation division due to his wounds he had when an IED blew up near him. And so he's with the Lake City Police Department, and he's with his friend and partner Cole, and he's trying to figure out a lot of the family stuff that's going on in his life. But then Lainey and James have to work together to see who's really after her. It's one of those stories. Okay. Then book 2 is Target Acquired. I gave this one like a 3.5 stars. I think a lot of it had to do with the audio, but this is a dual timeline, and I think that Lynette did the historical timeline very well. We have this timeline from the 1940s and then present day, and you're seeing a lot of this woman's story being like where she is in this hospital by her father. Don't really know much about her, and then the doctor and a friend she has are in there trying to get her out and figure all that out. Main couple in here is Kenzie King, who is the medic for the SWAT team, and then Cole, and they work together to figure out some of the mysteries tied in with the past and everything. So they're doing that. And then we have got the third book, which is Serial Burn. It's Jessalyn McCormick, and she is determined to figure out what happened with her parents many years ago in their fire accident. And so she's like the fire marshal, and the 20th anniversary of their deaths is approaching, and so there's a lot of these fires being set, and one was at her church, and so she's trying to figure out the person responsible. She ends up working with FBI Special Agent Nathan Carlisle, and they all kind of work together to figure this out. Of course, they have a lot of chemistry. I really enjoyed this one. Give this one like a 4 star. I'm looking forward to reading book 4 in this series. It's actually, if you want me to show y'all, Final Approach, and this is more of like a obviously like a hijacked plane situation kind of thing going on here. So I'm gonna read that one. And then got a couple of Colleen Coble's books. I have really enjoyed Colleen Coble books. One being the Annie Peterson trilogy, and I already mentioned that previously in another video, so I will go ahead and at least link that down below, put the picture on the screen for you guys. But Edge of Dusk is book 1. That's my favorite series by her, but I want to mention these other two that are pretty new that I've still really enjoyed. Fragile Designs is one that's surrounding like this Fabergé egg, this mystery. We've got this girl named Carly, and her husband was a police officer. He was murdered, and she is a single mom struggling to support her young son, and then her career's not really going well, so she's staying. I want to say it was a family or something. Oh yeah, she had sisters, and a lot of dramatic stuff going on with her sisters, but she ends up meeting the detective Lucas because somebody is trying to get this Fabergé egg worth a lot of money, that kind of stuff. I learned a lot about Fabergé eggs in this book. I really enjoyed it, so a very unique story for me. Then we've got Ambush, and this one was, I think, the one that came out earlier this year. This is about Blake in Paradise, and Blake is the man who broke her heart a long time ago, so it's another one of those second chance romances. Again, you usually see a lot of that in these books, which I like. Second chance has to be done right, but in romantic suspense, I really like it because it makes sense where they at least have some sort of connection and it's not insta-love, you know what I'm saying? Like they knew each other at some point in their life, so it kind of makes sense. But I really liked how this one was done because they were communicating very well and all this stuff, and they kind of you know, things of their past were discussed, if you will. It's set in Alabama. It's been 15 years. She's back in town and seeking like this fresh start and wants to figure out who murdered her parents years ago. And while she's there, she finds herself in the middle of this murder investigation on like this sanctuary with all these animals and things. So I think if you like animals and stuff, this would also be a good one. This is technically, it says it's a sanctuary novel, and I think there's another book in this coming out in November. Yeah, Prowl is this is here on the back. Prowl is coming out in November. But it does have a little bit of tie-in to Tupelo Grove, the other series by Colleen Coble and Rick Acker, which is one that I have generally enjoyed as well. Don't have it in my hands, but what we had was book 1, and so I think I like her standalone books best, but that one was one that kind of ties in with the town and one of the characters in here a little bit. So you can read this one by itself though if you want to, because it doesn't spoil anything from that other series. So yeah, a lot of animals and sanctuary and small town family stuff in this one. I really liked Ambush. It was good. Did I forget another book? I did. And you can't have this romantic suspense video without If I Run by Terri Blackstock. This is actually a Lifetime movie now, you guys. I haven't seen it yet, but the trailer looks promising. Let me know if you've seen it. But it just recently came out. But this is the original romantic suspense book I probably did pick up actually, plus the Submerged that I mentioned earlier in this video. But this one, I remember reading this whole trilogy in like 3 days. Literally fastest book series I ever read, and it was one of my early Christian fiction books that I picked up, and everyone in the community has talked about it and raved about it. It's kind of becoming the classic Christian romantic suspense in the community. But in this book we have got Casey Cox, and her DNA is all over the crime scene. Her friend has been killed. She's the #1 suspect. She doesn't trust the police. We got the detective DiAnn, I want to say. Look at me remembering this. See, it sticks with me. Okay, DiAnn is trying to be after her, my kid. DiAnn is after her, and he starts uncovering the truth of the matter. It is so good. The romance kind of comes more towards the end of the series, but it's just such an overall great series, and her faith journey is beautiful throughout this as well, because she's not really a believer at the beginning. I love this series so much. Series I want to mention is the Pearl River series by Patricia Bradley. I have thoroughly enjoyed this one. Patricia Bradley writes books set in Tennessee a lot of times, and I have several of her books on my TBR. One is Counterattack, 2 is Fatal Witness, and book 3 is Deadly Revenge, and all centered around like a police department, I want to say. Yeah, book 1 had Alexis and Nathan. Book 2 had Dani and, was it Dani? Oh yeah, it was like amnesia type story, and Mark. And then book 3 had Jenna and Max. I can't remember names for nothing, you guys. So there's like the police department, we're about to drop it. Special agent type stuff. But in book 1, I think book 1 might be my favorite though. It's hard. I love this series with all my heart, honestly. Like, there was something about the way she writes it's like Chattanooga area that I just really enjoyed. I'm not from there, but I still just love her Tennessee settings and like the characters, second chance stuff, and it's really good. So, but yeah, book 1 was, oh yeah, there's like the Queen Gambit killer, and like you see this pawn, it's like chess and stuff. Really unique. Okay, really unique. I love that. And then book 2, like I said, Dani, she had witnessed the murder of her parents, and so she is like figuring out who she really is. Amnesia stuff, like what, grandmother, all the things in that one. And then Deadly Revenge, and it had like some political stuff in here, because I think there's some political candidates being targeted, and so Jenna and Max have to kind of figure that out. So that is everything I have for this. I'm sure there's more, but wanted to just do some recommendations. Again, sorry that was pretty quick, didn't go into too much depth about each book, but all the reviews are going to be linked. Leave the links down below also for Amazon and Baker Bookhouse. If you purchase these, Baker Bookhouse is the way to go, because you usually get the best deals and the best packaging. Highly recommend. I truly believe that, because I order a lot of Christian fiction off of there. So yeah, but that's everything for this video. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you have any other recommendations, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye y'all.